Rocks. How you doing today?
Doing great. Ready to do it. Getting ready to get out for the weekend.
Awesome. Yeah, we were doing a lot of different things around here to get the gear ready for everybody to head on to Memphis and try to get a few W's. Is that right?
We need them. Yeah, we had a little bit of a slow start first session, but similar to last year. Last year we opened 1-2, and this year we did the same. But last year we were able to reel off, I think it was like 8 or 9 straight, finish the season 11-4. So I think this team is ready to do a similar path.
Awesome. So the purpose of this show is to follow the Rocks, their 17U team, throughout the EYBL season. Maybe you just talk a little bit about, since 2010, you guys have been in the EYBL, have 10 NBA players. You got Herder, Tobias, Andre, Isaiah, a bunch of other guys, and just talk about how the EYBL has evolved since you've been here.
Yeah, so just real quick, for all those years prior to 2010, summer basketball was just tournaments. It was weekend to weekend, a new champion every weekend. So it meant each championship was a little bit hollow. In college and the pro, we play for one trophy, and that's it. And there's only one champion. So the EYBL switched to a league format in 2010. And everybody soon copied. The other circuits copied because everyone wanted to be on a circuit. And the league finals are at the Peach Jam. So the Peach Jam has a longer history. It's known as the pinnacle of all grassroots basketball. So everyone's playing for that spot in the Peach. And now we're on a 15-game season where each game counts. We know our opponents, our entire year-long schedule ahead of time. We're able to prepare. These games are on synergy, so just like a college coach or NBA coach would prepare. Now that's what these teams in the EYBL are doing. The stakes are very high, and you can see the programs keep evolving. As you said, we were loading up gear for these guys today. We've got analytics personnel on our teams. We've got directors of basketball operations, video photographers. So
full operation.
Full operation, yes.
It's getting bigger and bigger, and that's what we want to bring you guys, the behind the scenes of the season. As Jim mentioned, there's 4 sessions before Peach Jam. City Rocks want to make it across all age divisions, and it's a journey, and it's also an accelerator for players, and we want to cover, show you some of the players now. So let's let Jim introduce some of the players, then we'll get into the highlights from the first session and preview the next session.
Let's get to it.
All right, Braden Jones.
This is the 2025 version of the City Rock. So Bray Jones came to us from East Catholic, new addition to the team, and weren't sure what to expect out of him. The practice sessions, he was getting his feet underneath him, and he literally surprised all of us with his performances in both Session 1 and in the Gym Rat Live. I think he was perfect from the field in Session 1, 11 for 11, finishes great around the rim. Doesn't back down from anyone. When you see the CP3 highlight, he's guarding #1 football player in the state, committed to Oregon, and went toe-to-toe with him the whole way. So I think now he's got that confidence of himself and his teammates, so sky's the limit from this year.
Awesome. Let's talk a little bit about Darian Moore, who's been in the program for a while.
Payday, if you cut him open, he might bleed black and orange. He's like the heart and soul of this program. He's been with us since he's an 11 or 12-year-old kid. I can't even tell you how many games he's played for City Rocks, and I don't think there's been a single game since that day where he hasn't finished the game, sweat on his jersey, in the battle at all times, taking charges, rebounding, making his teammates better. Just the ultimate competitor, great teammate. He's already committed to Seton Hall. Great fit for him, Shaheen Holloway in the Big East. It looks like he's already meant to wear that play in that league. So he also had a great performance Session 1, shot the ball well, orchestrated, usually draws the toughest defensive assignment on the other team. So, Payday is named for the right reason.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about Dom Sprague.
Big game Dom, the Dominator. So Dom had a great year at Western Reserve this year, playing on a national schedule on the national prep circuit. And he comes to us, just another guard who can kind of do it all. He shoots the hell out of the ball, another big-time competitor. I think he leads our team in steals, in less minutes than, maybe some of the other guys. hit a big shot against CP3 to cut it to one possession in the final minute. And we think he's going to have a breakout year as well.
Tough player. So let's go to Amari Wooten returning
Amari
player.
Wooten, right? So Amari's a starter returning from last year's EYBL. So not many times guys get to play 2 years of 17U EYBL and being a starter last year. And he was one of our top scorers last year. So Amari can just put the ball in the basket basically any way you want it. He can finish above the rim on the fast break through contact. He can hit the mid-range, and he's probably our best three-point shooter or most prolific three-point shooter anyway on a team that shoots the ball well. So Amari came out guns blazing, as he always does, and he's turned it up on the defensive end and rebounding it as well. So he's got multiple high major offers, and I think he's going to have another great year for us.
Yeah, I think the team goes sort of how he goes.
Yeah.
It's a big part of our success. All right, let's talk about a newcomer from this year, Lucas Murillo.
Lucas Murillo, okay. So Lucas came to us this year after his first year on the New England prep circuit at the Newman School, playing AAA. It's a big jump up from a regular high school league. And not only did he kill it in the league, his team won the AAA championship, and he was the MVP. He had several 30-point games. He had multiple double-digit rebound games, double-digit assist games. So he led his team in all three of those categories: points, rebounds, assists, minutes. And he's kind of taken on that role for us. So he can kind of play the 1 through the 4. He can certainly run the point. He's good on the wing. He's a good post-up player. So Mr. Versatility, basically. And, the more you see, the more you like. He picked up quite a few offers, towards the session starting. And then right after the first session, another 4 or 5 high major offers. So good stuff.
Awesome.
Dominicana, playing for the Dominican national team. He's going to have a busy year because he's going to NBA Players Association camp. Then he's going to Switzerland for the FIBA games. So
the basketball season is nonstop now.
Oh my God, these guys! A lot of games, a lot of mileage, and we see some of these NBA guys breaking down. So we're really encouraging our guys to take care of their bodies. I mean, we get them into cryo, recovery, and really preach all that stuff, especially not only on the road but when they're at home.
Awesome. From Lucas to Luca.
Lucas to Luca. All right, the sniper. So game 1, I think he was our second leading scorer. Came out with 3 threes and had 11 points. He was also a leading scorer in 2 of our preseason scrimmage games. So Luca's our only player in the class of 2027. We actually have a 2028. So Luca is in the class of 2027. He will also be at Western Reserve next year, coming off a huge high school season in the Binghamton area. So Luca, 3-level scorer, also shoots the hell out of it, can put it on the floor, plays above the rim, sneaky shot blocker. When he gets in that competitive mix, and it's a little harder coming off the bench, but whenever he gets in the mix, he tends to run with it.
Can you talk a little bit about the 32 minutes in the EYBL? Do you think we should expand that a little bit more? Because these guys are so talented.
Yeah, it's a big gripe because, you're trying to showcase. We have 10 players, all with Division I offers. So obviously they're the best players on their high school teams. You're trying to get them all minutes. And the EYBL was 36-minute games a few years ago. And they cut it to 32. Doesn't seem like a big difference, 8-minute quarters versus 9. But when you add 1 minute to the quarter, that's 20 more minutes to distribute amongst your team. So if it was your 8th and 9th men getting 10 more minutes each, it's big. And, it's only one live period in the spring. So, we wish we'd have more minutes for everybody.
And can you talk a little bit about the recruiting season? What have you heard so far about, how coaches are going to be recruiting guys coming out in this year?
Well, I think there's a high percentage of college players this upcoming season are going to be seniors. Like, it's not a normal distribution of 25% freshmen, 25 sophomores, et cetera. I would bet on the Division I rosters, it's probably 35 to 40% seniors. So all those people are going to graduate. There's no more COVID years. They're going to be losing eligibility. You can't just replace with the portal. Eventually, unless they grant a 5th year, you're going to need a lot of high school kids. So I think this 2026 class is coming out at the right time. There'll be a lot of offers and probably a lot of scrambling. So this week, I think you'll see a lot of moves made after the week.
All right, and then the next player we have is Mai White. Talk a little bit about how Mai came into the fold, and talk a little bit about
Money Mackay is, a freshman, and like a lot of these young bulls, they want to take always a bigger bite of the apple. So, he decided with his parents, he's a very mature kid, that he didn't want to play 15s or didn't want to play 16. So when I first got the call, I said, no way. There's no way we'll ever trust a freshman on a 17 EYBL team. Just didn't even want to, I said we'd have a spot somewhere else because we knew he basically broke DeJuan Wagner's freshman scoring record at St. Benedict's. Great high school coach there, Mark Taylor. So he came to us and I said, well, you could come to practice, but with 1 weekend of practice remaining, I didn't think he'd be able to, ingrain himself. But over the course of 3 practices, he showed that not only he belonged, that he could compete with anybody on the team. And he's what they say, they say that, some people have that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. And then as we got into the games, I think first session for him, he was great in the scrimmages. He tried to bring out that dog a little too much. So sometimes that's normal with a young player.
That's never a bad thing, though.
Never a bad thing. We're going to need that dog, right? But it's just sometimes realizing, like, let the game come to you a little bit. And defensively, like, he's a lockdown guy, but, playing team defense. But Mackay he's him, and just got an invite to USA Basketball, so he's heading out to Colorado Springs.
Is he going to miss any time?
He's going to miss the last session in Kansas City because he'll be out there in Colorado. So
we got to stack some dubs and
stack some
and
dubs
get into
here.
The highlights,
right. So Memphis got to be put on notice.
Absolutely. Yes. And then let's talk about our guy who really had a standout performance in session 1, Payton Miller.
Oh yeah, Payton. So Payton coming off a big school year at the George School, and he's been kind of the guy on his high school teams, last year's summer team. So he's known as a lead scorer, and he's also obviously a point guard. So this is a newer role for him where, like you said, he's got 10 Division I guys around him as well. So he's being asked to do a combination of things. And I think in the first session, he proved that he can be that guy that, great players can give what the team needs that day. So the first game, he was facilitating. The middle game, we had some guys in foul trouble. We were playing without 2 starters, our 2 most athletic players. And against CP3 in a high-paced game, he had to step it up, and he came out with like 24, 5, and 5. So he's answered a question that he can score, and he's learning how to play our way, and I think he's going to have a big year.
Awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about each game from session 1, but let's talk about a couple guys that dealt with the injury bug in the first session. 2 key pieces, both ranked players. Obviously tough not to have
these guys. I'm like, damn, I miss these guys. MJ, we missed you out there. And Parrish. Oh, Parrish. Parrish is the guy. So a little bit. I'll start with MJ because his picture flashed up first. But MJ Madison, 6'9", super athletic. Unbelievable defender. So like bigs usually can't defend multiple positions. This guy literally can guard 1 through 5. He's like a tarantula on the perimeter. Very disruptive in ball screens. Disruptive one-on-one defender. He guarded Mika Murinen, Boozer. Like on the high school circuit, the EYBL Scholastic. He drew all kinds of tough assignments for Lou High. Answered the test every time. So we're excited to bring his defensive presence. And what he also is, he's like a mini coach on the floor. He doesn't stop coaching the team, encouraging them. So both he and Parrish on the bench, their energy on the bench. And it's hard for stars to, like, hey, I can't play, but I'm going to be a cheerleader on the bench. And they did that. Oh, man. So, they're both infectious personalities. So can't wait to get. And MJ has a slew of skills that he hasn't been able to necessarily showcase just yet. So I think he's going to unleash a lot of that on the league.
Can't wait to have him on the court. And talk a little bit about Parrish.
Parrish Edmond, another returner from last year's 17 EYBL team. So last year he gave us great contributions off the bench. Super athletic player, one of the bounciest guys you'll see in the gym. And he's been, that's usually the initial thing you talk about Parrish. But when you talk about his progression skill-wise, and over the course of the season for Putnam Science, who was the prep school national champion, playing 40 games for them, he's just evolved so much. His handle has improved 1,000%. Jump shot is beautiful. All during our preseason practices, he was probably the most dominant player on our team. So, he can score it. He's downhill. He's coming at you, and he can also pull up, elevate, hit that 3. So Parrish is a dangerous man. So we just got to keep him out of some of these other
Yeah.
bullshit games he's played in,
Abs-
where he caught a few little injuries. So
Yeah, well, we'll get into the highlights here of the first session, but obviously, Parrish wasn't able to give us much time. He was dealing with an ankle injury.
played 2 minutes, and
Yeah.
he probably shouldn't have played, but
We'll
get him.
we'll get him. It's honestly a travesty that we don't have any highlights of him because of what this guy can do. I'm sure
It's
we'll
good. I don't
show
want
you.
to show any highlights
Yeah.
yet. There'll be plenty of them during the course of the year.
All right, so talk a little bit about the first trip. We're going to Arizona. We're playing Team Mello. What's your message to the team?
Well, you come out here first game, nerves, crowded gym, like courts going on, multiple games, a little confusing there. And, nerves catch up, 24-second shot clock. You see Team Mello here with some, half-court pressure, and it just slows you down, takes you a little out of rhythm. But, we stepped into the game and made shots. We were able to execute. And, I think when Biancardi was announcing the game, it was like Team Mello's getting their points in the first half out of tough shot making. City Rocks were getting theirs out of execution. So, we did a little bit of what we do typically there. But what was uncharacteristic was we had 20 turnovers, and they weren't really forced. They were basically, we'd get a steal and then throw the ball away. So just a few unforced turnovers, some dumb fouling that put them into 1-1 and got them a few free throw attempts. And we ended up losing, I think, a 3-point game or a 4-point game that, of course, winnable. We think it was very winnable, but that's game one.
Yep.
Started last year the exact same way.
And I noticed the NBA logo on the bottom right there. Can you talk what's going on there with the NBA Future Starts Now? Is that something that City Rocks and the NBA? What's going on?
Well, I mean, the NBA has been partnering with the EYBL for the last couple of years, and we've been trying to move this league from 39 or 40 down to 32. We're finally down to 32 teams, so we kind of match up with where the NBA is going to be there. We've been getting some coaching clinics from the NBA. The NBA's made some investments in the league. So, and we're playing NBA rules, basically.
Yeah.
We have 8 seconds to get it across midcourt, 24-second shot clock. We're using the international line. These are all adjustments for these guys, different three-point lines. So, definitely it gets them ready for the next level. Quick decision-making is required. And we're stepping
how
into
many
it.
players in the NBA came out of the EYBL? Was it something crazy like?
It was a good percentage of the American-born players. It's something like 75 or 80% of the American-born players are in the coming out of the EYBL. We've had drafts where, it was like 90% of them. So the EYBL has been a breeding ground for the NBA. It's amazing. And my, 30 years of doing this, it's like half the guys in the NBA. I remember coaching against him. So you remember these guys at those younger ages.
Yeah, and
so.
part of the reason we're doing the show is to sort of bring that forward. We think there's so much storylines in this league. This is literally the future of the NBA playing in a league right here on the weekend. So we're going to bring you all the games live. We'll get to the schedule after the show.
Think of these teams: Team Mello, Carmelo Anthony, CP3, Chris Paul's team. They'll be at these games.
Right.
Bradley Beal. They're just right down the line.
Speaking of CP3, that was the second game. This is actually a rematch. It looks like of the 15U Peach Jam Championship, right, from a couple years ago. So, talk a little bit about this game.
Yeah, this is rare in AU basketball. CP3 has a team that's basically played together since 6th or 7th grade, and you just don't see that anymore. So they had a core group of guys. They've strategically added some really good pieces this year, but their core won the 15U. I think they won the 14 and 15 Peach Jam championships. Last year they got to the 16 championship and lost there. So they've been at the top of their age group from the beginning. So on paper, they're one of the top 5 teams coming into the season, play at a fast pace, they press, they mix up defenses. And again, playing without 2 of our starters, we knew it'd be a tough task. And it was back and forth the whole way. They made a couple of 10-point runs, and we came right back. We took 5-point lead, and again, it came down to the last possession. So, it was halftime of that game.
Yeah.
And, at halftime, I looked at our team, and I said, hey, we're a game and a half into this season. The one thing I know is we're a good team. We're going to be just fine. So just, trust the process, basically take care of process over outcomes, and things will work for us.
And just describe the feeling, what it's like being out there at the trip and you're, searching for a win. It's not the most fun experience.
No, luckily I have enough experience that like everybody wants to go 4-0 and win every game, or we got to win this. And I was just like, you can't control all of that. You can control this possession, right? And when you have that, let's get the best team shot. As long as you're getting a team shot, it doesn't matter if it goes in. You did the right thing. If you get back and play good team defense and they make a tough shot, you tip your hat and go on to the next play. And when you do that, if you really dial in on the individual steps, the wins will just take care of themselves. And you could say that over and over, but kids, they get there like, holy shit, we got to win. And it's their mind changed. But I think the team's getting right where we need to be, and hopefully we're peaking at the right, or starting to peak at this time.
Yeah. That's what Coach Boeheim used to tell us. Just want to make sure you're playing well at the right time.
In March, right.
And so let's just talk a little bit about those principles. You mentioned you want to be sort of near the top in the following categories: assist to turnover ratio, transition defense, overall defense, and shot quality. So let's look at the last highlight here from the game against Drive Nation and see what we did a little bit better here in the last game.
Yeah, well, in this game, I think we really played great team defense, and we started to push the ball a little bit more in transition. As you see there, Payton Miller just, we told them to be aggressive. This is a game where they're going to switch defenses. Sometimes we can't call a set. You just need to be aggressive. So there he pushed, got open, got into the mid-range. And here you're seeing that versatility. Payday playing the point. You get a good ball reversal here. You got a little duck in. We get it to Murillo inside. And a lot of times there's a mismatch with him. And he's great at feeling out the defender and knowing when to give it up. And we give him space. He usually gives us a good result. This one on a sideline out of bounds, looks like we've got another duck in play, and instead they try to double the duck in, and we got the open three in the corner. So that's just making a good read. Pass fake, find the open player. And we rebounded well. You see Bray there just getting after it, like limiting them to one shot and, attacking and staying aggressive. And this Drive Nation team, they had 3 guys in the top 40 in the country. So, you get a win, you're thinking. And
they tough schedule early.
They were 0-3, and I think you'll see them 100% in the Peach Jam. They will be in the Peach Jam.
We got our first prediction on City Rocks
Live.
There
it is, right there. Drive Nation.
Drive
I know
Nation,
we're going to see you guys.
Stamped by Coach Hart.
Yep.
All right, let's look at the standings here after session 1. We have, what sticks out to you here?
Well, this is our division, the Raveling division. You never know who's the stronger division as the season starts. But Team Why Not, they got out to a 3-0 start out of L.A. That's Russell Westbrook's team. They've always been a team that just puts points on the board, skilled team. I didn't get to see their games yet because we're going to play them late, so I'm not really scouting them. But at the end, some of the people in Nike, they were saying, some of the top teams in the league were Why Not, CP3, Takeover, and I think they like the way the New York Wrens played. So Why Not's in that conversation early as one of the top teams. And you see in ours, only 2 teams went undefeated. Right. So there's a lot of parity in the league, and all you EYBL aficionados, there's usually some team that is just so loaded. I was talking with one of our coaches about we lost to the Georgia Stars in the Peach Jam a few years back, and it was just a team you weren't going to beat. They had Wendell Carter, Azubuike, 3 7-footers. Harper led the league in threes. You're not going to beat that team. Last year, it was the Boozer Twins and Knight Riders who won 3 straight years. So no matter how strong you were coming into the Peach Jam last year, you're hoping not to see Knight Riders and the Boozer Twins. This year, I think any of the top 10 teams that get there can almost stake a claim that they have a chance to win the Peach. So, in that middle of the bracket, Mocan, a perennial winner. They've got a couple Peach Jams under their belt already. Don't need to see them get any more. I love Matt and the guys there, but don't want to see it. They had 2 big point spread wins and lost their last one. United also had a couple good wins. Mello beat us. I'd like to see them flipped at 1-2 and us 2-1. So, that middle of the division we're going to see. And then when you get into that other part, we're going to face, Indy Heat, Uplay, and family, who are all right there.
Show some of the clips from the family and talk a little bit about our upcoming Session 2 games, which starts in a couple days. This will be tomorrow.
Yeah. So the family, they've got their big is out injured, but they've got a guard-heavy lineup. They really move the ball well. They'll reverse it. All 5 players can hit the 3. They run a lot of like pistol action, and you see the ball get to both sides of the floor. They want to get paint touches and kick it to their shooter. So probably you pull up any clip, they kind of look similar. All guards, all skilled. They all get to the basket, and they can have finish. Right there, that's Cam Ryan's, and he's got offers from Iowa State and Marquette. So I'm watching him, and at first, he didn't pop off the page, but then you see those over, and you start to watch him like, yeah, he does everything right. He takes charge, plays hard. I watched some of his high school clips as well. So he can go. And then KJ Torbert was their leading scorer. Here he is, like getting a three from there. No, that's him on the rebound right there. KJ Torbert finished in that. He's got a bunch of mid-majors, all the Central Michigan, the usual suspects in his hometown area. But the family has always been, a skilled team that puts pressure on the defense in a variety of ways. They're never going to stop coming at you in waves, so you got to be ready to lock up, and no lead is safe with them.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the Indy Heat game. I know we got a UPlay game in between, but we're not able to pull up the highlights.
Yeah, so here, like Marcus Johnson, I think he average 20 in the first session or something?
Yeah, 20.3 points per game.
So he's got to be one of the top 3-4 scorers in the league. He's got size. He can shoot it, score in a variety of ways. He can take it coast to coast. So we're going to have to put Payday or a series of defenders on him. And, just try and take away their best players' strengths. That's just what this is all about. Like, every team you're going to play in the EYBL is going to have 6'10s. They're going to have shot blockers. They're going to have shooters. They're going to have skill. They're all going to be good with the ball. So it's just like not letting their best guy just be comfortable in what he does. And here you can see that's some tough shot making there.
That's deep.
Deep lefty step back. So I got to scout him a little bit more because I've been focusing a little bit on the first two games right now. But, yeah, Indy Heat's going to be tough.
And then let's just show some clips from Team United, the final game on Sunday, getaway day. There's always a battle with United and City Rocks.
It's funny. After winning, like, basically 10 out of 11, we played them last session, and Mason Blackwood sat out the game. He was sick that game, and we ended up losing it by 3. So my last time facing Team United, they got us. And I think they got us in the 15s last year. So, we got to get a little payback with them. They've been scrappy. I don't think they ended up making the Peach last year. So, they're definitely going to be hungry because it's closest to their backyard. So they're definitely going to be wanting to play July basketball at the Peach Jam.
Excellent. All right, we're going to take a look. That's our show. Thank you, Coach Hart, for joining us today. We're going to take a look at our live schedule here coming up. All these games will be brought to you on City Rocks Live. We play the family. You play Indy Heat on Saturday, and then the finale Sunday against Team United. All right, everybody. Thank you again, Coach Hart.
That's it. Yeah, we're ready to go. Let's. I think when we review this TV, I don't want to say anything. We'll probably have some good results for you next week.
Right, so we'll be back next week for the preview show, but catch us live here again for Session 2, Nike.